Right, we'll be starting our session this afternoon, and I would love to welcome you all to this afternoon lesson for Senior 6. And this is going to be an ICT lesson for Senior 6. So if you're a student who is not doing ICT, kindly proceed to the next room. Otherwise, this room is going to be for ICT. And my name is Masava Erisa. I work with Mbale Secondary School. I also work with the Holistic E-Learning Platform for right now, long period of time. I want to thank whoever has been following our programs right from the lockdown when we started. I believe most of you by that time were in Senior 2, and I'm happy that you continued with us up to this far when you're now leaving your high school. I want to congratulate you first of all for making it to Senior 6 for those who didn't attend the previous lesson. And always open these lessons with with an opening prayer. And I want to give a chance to whoever is ready to give us an opening prayer to proceed.
Recording in progress.
Okay, sorry about that. Kindly get your hand up to give us an opening. And at the later time, we'll need to know where you people are coming from. So feel free to share with us your name and at least the school where you're coming from. It will be very good. Is anyone giving us an opening prayer? Just have your hand up and give us an opening prayer. Okay. Yes, Peter, you can proceed.
Let's humble ourselves for a word of prayer. Lord, we want to thank for this day. We want to thank for the gift of life. Ask you, Lord, as we are going to study, may we understand everything that we are going to be taught. Bless us, bless the teachers, and also remind us of all that we study. We are able to put it onto our final papers. We excel in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Peter. And the amen from this side. And I want to welcome you once again to this lesson. And in the previous lesson, we did introduce Microsoft Excel. We tried out all Microsoft Excel, like you're going to find it in your schools where you're going, is under an application category called spreadsheet software. And it is under the application category. When you're writing your theory, you'll put it so well. And application software categories, we have word processors, presentation softwares, and among others. One of them is, one of the categories is spreadsheets. And under spreadsheets, NCDC encourages us to handle one particular spreadsheet program, and that is Microsoft Excel. It is the one that is majorly used. And we have several, of course, spreadsheet programs. And one of the program under spreadsheet software, of course, it's Microsoft Excel itself. But last time we tried out WPS on our phones. It's one of the examples. We also did try out Google Sheets, which is the online product that Google is trying to market, and it was working out so well. So in today's lesson, we'll be just proceeding. We may not learn so much of how to open, that was measured in the previous lesson. this lesson we are going to concentrate on something a little different from what we looked at in the previous lesson. So I'm going to start with going through the exercise that we've been trying to do. Apologies to those I did not capture their work because I had not seen your work early. So I want to only open the work that I managed to receive here. And yeah, the exercise I gave you in the previous lesson is here. And specifically, it was just the basics of Microsoft Excel. And I did this intentionally because I wanted you to use your phones to do this work. And yeah, most people gave it a try and it worked out so well. So we are going to go through maybe 1 or 2 numbers here. And for those who have very good phones, prepare to try to demonstrate for us how you did this work. And how are you going to demonstrate? I'm going to put this work in Google Sheets. You'll put up the hand and get for us the total. Put up the hand and get for us the bonus. You'll put up the hand and get for us the average, and so on like that. I am assuming you're either using a phone that is so good or maybe a laptop that is fairly good enough as well. So the first question is here, and they wanted us to have this information put in a spreadsheet software of your choice, of course, and of your choice is very important statement here. Program of your choice, but it must be in a spreadsheet category. So there are so many. You can use Google Sheets, you can use Microsoft Excel, you can use WPS, like most of you use WPS, and no one is going to penalize you for that. So someone should prepare to demonstrate how they did question number 1. But of course, I've also tried to compile whichever work I received about question number 1. For example, the work you're seeing on your screen is from Elegant something. I tried to do question 1 as well, and this must have been on a phone. Emma Nathan did something, but this is not number 1. This is for number 1. Yes, Emma's work is here for number 1. We are going to try out and see and compare with the answers Emma tried to get here. And if you got it right, give him a. So I'm going to open my Google Sheet and I'll paste the work there. And maybe before I even paste the work there, you can take a screenshot of this question number 1 and try to imagine how you're going to get the total, how you're going to get the average, and also the bonus. Make sure when you're doing for us, you'll open the microphone such that we're able to hear. You hold on a little as I open the sheet here, such that we are all able to get there. And this is how you can open a sheet. Maybe it's not part of the lesson, but you can get a chance to see how they open a sheet. And make sure you've chosen the right, make sure you've chosen the right email. The email section is around here. And because this email is a bit heavy, it's a bit, yeah, it could be the one, it should be the one I used in the previous lesson. So you come here to these dots. If you've not downloaded Google Sheets on your phone, on your laptop, but if it's on a phone, then you can always just download Google Sheets from Play Store or from wherever you can get. But if you're using a laptop, Google Sheets is always found under these Google apps when you put in www.google.com. So there are so many things you can do here in Google apps. Of course, the first one is Google Sheet that we're going to concentrate on. But you can also do Microsoft Word from here. And you can do slides. from here. I wish we had enough time. We'll try out all of this such that we can do a slide as a class, maybe on pollution in Uganda. And when you're doing pollution in Uganda, one person can choose slide 1, another one slide 2, such that in 1 minute, the whole slides are ready. So me, I'm picking Google Sheets here, and I'm going to copy this work and put it there, Google Sheets. And this is the one we used in the previous lesson, so I'll open exactly the same. And yeah, it's here. So I don't know whether someone had pasted it here or I pasted it here myself. I don't know. So prepare. So I'm going to open a new sheet here and I'm going to call it lesson 2. Make sure you look for that sheet for whoever is going to enter here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put the work here under sheet 14, just renaming it to read lesson 2. Lesson 2. And I'm going to put help at the end here such that you're able to access. And I'm going to paste the work here. And I'm going to share, of course, this work with you. I'm going to put it in the chat such that whoever has this link can access this work. If you already have it, I posted this link already on our WhatsApp group. So you can, someone can access the drive where I am right now using that link, and you can be in there with me. Those who are going to join, I'll be able to see you from somewhere here. Up there, join. So I'm going to put the work here, and you're going to come and demonstrate for us here how you got the total, but also how you got the average. Our work is here. My laptop is slowing down. I pray that it doesn't disappoint. I want to get this work from here and paste it in Excel because we may not have enough time to do the work. So I'm going to assume you know how to type. I'm just going to open this and paste it in Microsoft. I'm going to pick it in Microsoft Word and put it in Excel. It will take some small time. So meanwhile, I'll be joining that link as I copy this to Excel. So what I did was to copy this work. Yeah, I see some people have already joined. And what I've done, I've copied this work from the other side instead of having to retype it here. And the names of these people are here. You're seeing their English marks. You're seeing all that other information. I just want to align it to the left-hand side such that it looks really nice. Now, can I know who is taking us through the first one, which is the total? Put up the hand such that we don't over congest the sheet. Give us, but now people who have already gone to the sheet, how is it going to be possible to put up the hand? Okay, Mutebi, first open your microphone. Have you accessed the sheet?
Yes, access the sheet.
Okay, you may leave the microphone open as you demonstrate for us.
Okay. So I'll start by inserting the formula, find the total, whereby I start with equals sign and sum.
Okay.
Sum, open brackets.
Unfortunately, we can't see what you're typing, but maybe it will come after you've finished it. But proceed.
Okay. I put the range. B2. B2. Square brackets. Now press enter. Yeah, I think I'm done.
Yeah, I want to just display for people your formula. So I'll click here and the formula will appear here. I don't know if you've seen, this is the formula he has put and is correct. It's correct. When you add that, you get the sum of 270 and he pressed enter to confirm that formula. And what he has done, he has auto-filled for us and you can see that he has got up to the last person who is Kiza Donald. Thank you. Tebi, can we get the next person to do for us the average? Or I would really prefer a person to do for us total using an alternative formula, of course, the one we looked at in the previous lesson, without using a function. Maybe before we get there, is anyone alternative? I'm calling it total alternative, such that we can use an alternative formula. Is anyone giving us, or we can still proceed? Put your hand up if you want to give that a try. I see only 2 people have accessed this drive. Yes, Emmanuel. I'm going to share this again in the chat such that you're able to access it. Emmanuel, you can proceed.
What if I say just open brackets B2 plus C2 plus D2 plus...
Emma, have you accessed the drive?
No.
Hello? No. I wanted you to do it directly, so
no.
Let's give chance to a person who has accessed such that they can do for us. And if we don't get, then you'll give us, then I will do it from the side as you speak. By show of hands, if you've accessed the drive and you want to show us this. Any other person? Mutebi at least has done call the first one. Any other person who want to try this out? Okay. Emma, let me write for you as you speak.
I was saying equals sum.
Sum.
Open brackets. B2 plus C2 plus D2 plus E2.
Then I close.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it also gives us the correct answer, which is 270, and the computer is suggesting to autofill for me, and I will have to accept, of course. And you realize the answers are looking the same. However, I want to discourage this formula. And if you're using sum, if you just dare to write the word sum, then you're not using first principle formula. From first principles, if you're doing it, then you don't have to write the sum. So if you dare to write sum, then you don't need to write these remaining values. So I would suggest his formula would have been sum from B2 to E2, and it is equivalent to this formula that this was who gave us the first one. I'm forgetting that name. Wire, I'm not remembering that name. So it would almost be the same. And when you press enter, it will give you, but maybe because this is online, but on a desktop, it may maybe disappoint you. And the formula that I really wanted was total, maybe let me call it total 3, and I'm going to make use of his formula. I don't need to use it. Let me just write another one. You'd still write and say is equals B2, which is 80. And on 80, you tell the computer I'm adding 45, which is in C2. I'm also adding 56, which is in D2. I'm also adding 89, like that. 89, you don't write 89, you write E2 to represent the value, which is 89. You'd write your formula as simple as that, and it would still give you the same information, and the computer is suggesting that we autofill, so I'll just tick there and it will autofill for me. And indeed, the answers will still remain the same. We did this so much in the previous lesson, so I don't want to over talk about that. And if you have a question, maybe you can ask such that I can repeat. Otherwise, for now, I want to proceed to the average, and I see if anyone can get for us the average here. I would prefer a person who has entered that drive. Who is doing for us the average?
Members, the teacher has gone off, and I see Diana is now the host.
Could it be the teacher's network? Maybe that's the problem, but
I don't know what that hand was for, Dan or who. And if you can share, this was Mutebi. I don't know if you're in position to share your screen. You would share temporarily as I try to get my laptop back on. Are you able to share the screen?
No, because I'm not the host. Maybe you make me a co-host.
Hey, okay, let me give you some rights here. That is Peter. Peter, make sure you give out some rights. I don't know if Peter is able to hear us.
Yes, I'm going to be.
Peter, are you able to hear us?
I'm done.
Sir,
Mutebi, you can share your screen.
now sir is the host. I'm not the host. I cannot share unless someone makes me the host.
It's okay. Sorry. I thought he had made you the host. Not even the host. Let me see if you can. I think you can now share. I want to.
So can I take you through the average?
Yeah, I thought you were sharing the screen to take us through the average.
Okay.
Yes,
Now
proceed.
I'm going to insert in. I'm going to insert into the. I'm going to put the function. I don't know. Still not right. Yes, so unfortunately, I don't know why my keyboard is not typing.
I see somewhere you're only viewing I really don't know why. Let me try to go there and see if I can change the settings. But why you not signed in using your email? It is showing that you don't have permission.
Oh, I've requested the editing permission.
From my, okay, let me see if I can see that request from this side. I've seen that. I don't know how the settings changed, but I had made them to be free.
Okay.
And that. I've given you the rights, but I don't see anything changing on your PC.
So I'm trying to type, but it is still not typing.
You try to refresh and we see. I see you're still viewing only.
Okay. Yeah.
Give it some time.
Okay. Yeah, I think now it is working. So let me type the function to find the average. So equal sign average, open brackets. I'll use the one for total, which is F2 and the slash, and divide. Since the subjects are just 4, so I divide by 4. I close the brackets and I press enter. So I autofill. Yeah, I think I'm done. As well, you see.
I think that is correct. And I can see that you finished autofill. However, when you're using a function, always don't bother to, when you're using from first principles, like the way you've done F2 divided by 4, that one mathematically means you understand that that is the total divided by 4. You don't need to write the word average there. So you would even have removed the average and it would still give you. And
Okay.
Every time you can remove it from up there.
Okay.
Remove that. Yes, press enter. It would understand that you're dividing 270 divided by 2. Divided by 4. So it just understands. Autofill, press that. fill that. And I can also try from this side, the other average would be just telling us that is equals, of course, without even the brackets, just telling us that it is equals. Unfortunately, you people are unable to see what I'm typing, but you'll see it later. Is equals G2, F2 divided by 4. Like that, it would still give us that same average. I've just written without the brackets, directly like that. You can see what I've written up there. Don't know if you're able to see. You're unable to see, but I've written just directly. I've written directly F2 equals that.
So I beg your pardon.
You're unable to see. Okay, let me just share my screen. Maybe.
So I have put it there.
You put it there?
Yeah.
Okay, something like that. You would do like that and it would still give you the same results. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Thank you for sharing temporarily as I was sorting this out. And
Sir, I beg your pardon on that.
I'm going to repeat. That's why I was sharing my screen. I said you can write by
So could you please?
So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to repeat the alternative way of getting average. Of course, there are so many ways mathematically. Maybe we click, if you hold on, let me type it, is equals the total, which is in F2. It's actually here. You can even click on it and it will tell you that value is in F2. So I'm just going to divide F2 by 4. It will give me the same information and it will appear like that for Peterson, who didn't see that. The third alternative way I would get this average is by going into the harder way, not even the harder way, but from the real first principles of mathematics. Mathematics tells us that for me to get the average, I need to get this first mark plus the second mark plus this mark plus this mark and divide that. So I'm putting it in bracket and I'm going to divide it by 4. Of course, there are 4 subjects. I can also write it like that and I will always get the answer being the same. So Excel is too good. Don't always fix yourself to a certain formula. If there is any way you can interpret the question in a mathematical way, try to do that and it will always give you the correct answer. I just want to sample and see if people passed the average because average was the most, maybe it was one of the things that I had not talked about in the previous lesson. Emma got it right. You can see his average is there. And this is still Emma. This was number 2. This was Ketra Praise. She got average correct, and you can see her work was also very good. And I'm using 67.5 to tell if these answers are correct. Then this was Christabella, and she got her average as 67.5, and this makes the whole work correct. And we had...
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I'm Peterson. I was trying to raise up the hand, but he did not allow me to do it.
I didn't see the hand.
Sir. So.
Yes, please.
I wanted to say that the average, I wanted it to be in 2 DPs. What if you leave it with 1 DP? Is it correct? Or we should be having 2 DPs? From the question.
Yeah, leaving it in any decimal point has no problem, but normally for us in mathematics, we fear errors. If you hurry to put something into maybe 2DP, 3DP, when they've not called for it, may penalize, may question your values. So even in computer, I want to discourage. If they've not told you to change, always leave. But if they've told you to change, you highlight like this and come here. Of course, this one increases the decimal like this to whichever decimal points, and this one reduces the decimal to whichever points. You can see that the first one was 67.5 and it has reduced to 69. Mathematically, you know that it has rounded off. So if they want it, is when you can do it. If they don't want it, please don't always do it.
Okay.
So
Okay, because our question was dictating.
Sorry?
Was saying, I'm like, our question was dictating that we put it in 2DPs.
Oh, I had not read that. Thank you. Let me check the question. The question is here. They were saying, determine the average score for it in 2 decimal points. Oh, this is correct. And someone asked me in mine box. I forgot that person, but was wondering how they put in 2 decimal places. I didn't know that I had put that. So this is actually this is 1 decimal point. How do you know that you put it in 2 decimal points? It will have another 0 here, or it will have another value. So you increase here and make sure you put it in 2 decimal points. You can see now it has 60.50. If they want it in 1 decimal point, that is 1 decimal point. If they don't want any decimals, then you round it off to the nearest whole number. So 2DPs is supposed to be like that. Thank you, Peterson. I had not seen that. So that is how they get the average. And many people are past the average, much as I had not taught it. Then for the bonus, the question was saying, 12 marks were added to every student in science. So every student in science, we added 12 marks. And yeah, if we had the time, I would give chance to someone to do it, but allow me to do this myself. You get science marks are in D2. On it, add 12 marks, just like that. And when you enter, it will give you those values. You can see that science, this one got 56, and when you add 12 on them, they go to 68, and so on. But this one, of course, was errored up to 112. It exceeds a little, but mathematically that is correct. So, is there any question I would maybe probably respond to before I switch to what I feel you should have learned today in today's lesson? I feel we need to, the remaining questions, I am requesting to skip them. Maybe you'll try them with time. And what I was testing here was typing skills. Are you able to retype this information in Excel? Because they're saying the information below is driven from MoveFoot Limited from somewhere selected. So something like that. So these are the staff names up to here. And this is how they are earning their basic salary. And their basic salary goes up to here. So do you know how to type this information to Excel? Because they want you to enter the above information in Microsoft Excel. So what I expected you here is to open a new Microsoft Excel. Unfortunately, me, I may not open. I'm just going to create a new sheet. I'll create a new sheet. So they wanted you to type this information this side. The first one is Jackie, Kent, Pauline, Eunice. Someone should remember these names such that I type them the other side. I am starting with Jackie. Make sure you know the second person. So before you put Jackie here, you should know which names are these. This is staff. These are staff names, you see? They're telling us that these are staff people. So we will say this is staff name. Very important, staff name. And the first person is Jackie. The next person is what?
Kent.
Kent, yes.
Kent. Then Pauline.
Pauline. Yes. Are they over?
Eunice.
There is one remaining.
Who? Okay, let's assume they are over. Yeah, there are so many units and so on. Okay, I'm assuming they are over. Then they wanted you to put the basic salary. So I'd put also the basic salary here. Basic salary. Basic salary. And the basic salary, the first one was what?
660,000.
660. Cram the next one. 660 here.
760.
760.
870.
870. Yeah, something like that. We may leave it there. We may leave it there. So we've entered this information correctly. So they want you to get lunch allowance for all employees, 22% of their basic pay. Mathematics is also there. So this is how you get that. Is equals 22% of, so I'm multiplying 22% with the basic pay. Where is the basic pay? Yes, with this. So you get this 22% times the cell that has the basic pay. And this is what I'm on this side. So I'll call it lunch. And it is the same as 22% of this. So I'll multiply this by this, like that, and it will give me that autofill. So I pray that you are able to get that. I'm going to skip this. So in today's lesson, I wanted us to concentrate, unless if a person has any question you want to ask on the previous exercise, or else I want to proceed this lesson.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you please take me through the steps of getting, like, finding rank and position? Because sometimes they disturb me.
Thank you. Then Daniel.
How you pay as you earn.
Pay as you earn was number what?
On that number.
It was 6.
This one here. This is 2.5.
Yeah, 6
of the best salary.
This is equal to 2.5% of the basic salary, which is this. That is how you get it, if that was the question. So, whoever was asking about the rank, we are going to talk about it, and so the position as well, it's the same. But allow me get whoever is out of, whoever is in this sheet, get out. Maybe if I want you to come back, I'll always invite you back here. But for now, let's get back to Zoom. And specifically, we are going to concentrate on Microsoft Excel. And I will assume you remember how to open Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to open my Microsoft Excel sheet. And yeah, I have several of them here. Maybe, let me use Emma's work. Okay, let me use Emma's work, this particular one here. And Okay, this is Emma's work. I'm going to use Emma's Excel sheet. I will assume you're able to see it from wherever you are. So in today's lesson, I'm going to concentrate so much, or we are going to concentrate so much on the basics in Excel. The first one is merging of cells. Or maybe before we merge the cells, do you know how to insert a new column, a new row, a new column or a new row? They may ask you that between Mwesigwa and Auma Scovia, there is a line of marks missing here. So if they want you to insert a row between this and that, how do you do that? So I'm going to start by showing you that. I'm going to use Katende Joseph here and Opio. So this is what you do. Put your cursor around here and insert. I'm going to repeat that. If you want to insert a row, a row is a line that moves this other side like this. And a row, I'm inserting it between Katende Joseph and Opio Victor. Put your cursor on the last person who is Opio Victor, right click, and it will bring for you several options, but specifically click on insert. It will put a row between Katende Joseph and Opio Victor, and I'm going to call it maybe, this boy you prayed for us is called Kibelu Peter. And maybe Peter is getting marks. You watch what is going to happen this side. Everything I'm putting here will be affecting Peter as well. Let me put 98 and I maybe put 56. Maybe 45. 45 here. Okay, this can be 78. So every time I put here, it autofills for me the values this side. So I don't need to keep doing. It's already doing for me this other side. Okay, that is called inserting of a row in Excel. They may want you to do that. If they want you to insert it between Nambozo Lilian and Mulembe Kevin, you put it on Kevin here, like this, right click and insert to put it in the middle there. And maybe I have put accidentally that Erisa in a mistake and I want to delete the entire row. I will still do the same, right click on 13. Erisa is in 13, so I stand on 13 and right click. Then I delete it. There is a difference between deleting and clearing. For example, if I don't need this Nambozo Lilian, but I want to replace her information with some other student, I'll right click and clear. There I am not deleting, I'm clearing. But when you delete, even the row goes away. But when you clear, it looks like that. It removes Lilian with all her information. So I didn't want to delete, I have brought her back. So that is one on rows. Even for columns, you still do the same. If I want to put maybe, I have forgotten to put position here between average and bonus, I'll put my cursor on H, right click and insert. It will put for me a new column between average and bonus, and I'll call it a position. And I'll write whatever I want to write here. It will still hold to this tab. So this is a very important skill. Anyone may want to test you on that. So be very, very careful with that. The second one is how do you merge cells? For example, you're designing a timetable using Excel, or they've told you that this exam was done at Mbali Primary School, and they want you to put Mbali Primary School up here as the heading of this document. So you start by inserting a new row up here and call it Mbali Primary School. Mbali Primary School, like that. And when you put Mbali Primary School, you realize that it is ending only in cell 1. Cell 2 doesn't, cell B2 doesn't have. This one doesn't have. So you realize that Yombali Primary School is only concentrating here. And yet you want it to be the heading to the whole of this information. That's why the skill of merging is very important. I'm going to start by showing you how to merge. I'm going to sample from here. This is how you merge. Right click and you'll see the merge option appearing. Right click. Now here, the merge is if you want to merge using right click, it will take you a longer way. You go to format cells and you'll find it there. But the easiest way is highlight the cells you want to merge and come under the home tab. This is insert tab where I am. I come under the home tab and click on merge and center. Merge and center, when you click on it, it will merge this information. And when you merge this information, you can maybe put mathematics like that. See, I have put mathematics and the cell has been merged. I want to show you the difference between this one merged and the one that is not merged. I'm writing the same word mathematics here and you'll see the difference. I'm making this one red and the other one light blue, like that. So you realize that this one that I have made red is not finishing up to this side. It is not trying to spin the 3 cells. So you realize that this one has been best written and it is been merged. So if I want Mbale Secondary School to spin up to this other side, highlight the whole of it like this and come to the home tab and you'll find merge and center like that. When you click there, it will appear so nice like that. Merging does not only happen on the first row, it can even happen between Nadunga Fiona. I can insert a new row here and merge here. I can merge here. It can allow me to merge and write. Maybe these ones are sponsored children. Sponsored students. If these are sponsored students, I want the people who are reading my information to know that these are sponsored students. So I can also merge in between here. You can merge anywhere and do that. I also felt you need to know how to talk about that. And if there is any question, always open your microphone. Feel free to ask before I can rush to the next thing here. So I have merged that and maybe I may delete or I may leave. Next thing I wanted you to see is called sorting of values. For example, let me delete this. Peterson, can proceed.
Yes, sir. I want to know, can you merge from the phone also?
Yeah, you can merge
using the phone.
Yeah. Let me just try it. Let me try it here very fast before I can allow to share my screen. But why I'm showing you this is that I'm now treating you as candidates. You don't need now to keep doing, imagining only those things that can be done using a phone. Put it in mind that you can merge, but that when you get back to school, when you can afford a laptop, you try to merge. Of course, it's possible to merge on a phone, only that I have not tried it out. Let me try it out here and see. Otherwise, I want to proceed and talk about shading. I'm going to talk about shadings. Yes, merging can allow on a phone. I'm going to share my screen and show you how they merge. You'll open your WPS normally. Okay, you'll open your WPS normally. I don't know if you're able to see my screen. I don't see it myself here on my second screen. Is anyone able to see my phone?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But me myself, I can't see it on the... Anyway, I have not understood how to do that. I am failing to see it myself this side. Okay, you go to WPS, open WPS normally. And I'm assuming you remember what we talked about, how to do with WPS. Don't allow to start anything, not until you've seen this plus sign. Take it back, whatever is there, take back until you see that create or start button. Click on create, open your Excel and pick a blank document. And after putting your information, you can always merge. And merge is just next to you here. You see, there are so many files here. You keep sliding this side like this. So merge is just next to you there. You can always merge. You can see I've merged that. What I'm not sure is if it can allow to insert a new row. Yeah, you can see it can allow you to insert a row if you had missed out. And you can insert a cell a column as well. So maybe that one answers your question, Peterson.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll get back to okay. Any other question if it's there? And someone should be reading for me what is in the chat, just in case it's there anyway. If it's not there. The next thing I wanted you to see is how to put borders. These borders are very important. They will give you marks. Now, this is what you should know. In Microsoft Excel, these lines you're seeing are imaginary lines. They don't exist. So when you go to print, they won't be there. Maybe to just sample for you, Ctrl+P. Just press Ctrl+P as if I want to print. Now, if a printer was here, you would see. And this is exactly how your work is going to appear. It will appear clean like this with no any other information. So the tables you see there are imaginary lines. So I don't know if you've ever wondered why UNEB, when you're doing a UNEB question paper, everything is very accurate. There are lines of how they are writing paragraphs and so on. Those people don't use Microsoft Word when they are typing their questions and so on. Most organized people don't use Microsoft Word for typing very important documents. You want to type a letter to someone, you want to write a story, are you interested in doing a timetable? They use Microsoft Excel. It is too accurate. Are you designing a budget or you're designing what? So maybe interest yourself in Excel and it will look so nice for you. So you realize Excel will appear, but with no tables inside. So in UNEB, this one may show that you don't know what you're doing. So always make sure you put tables, even when they've asked for them or not, because it's called a spreadsheet program. So if you're designing and they're telling you type it the way it appears, you're supposed to print it out when it has tables indeed, or else they will think you don't know how to put borders. And the last thing I wanted to tell you is that we are preparing you for UNEB results. If they've asked for a footer, put. If they've not asked for the footer, please put it. Whether they've asked for it or not, there is no one who is going to cancel your work because you have put a footer of your name. You can imagine why I wanted to mark all your work, but didn't have footers. You can imagine what I went through. I can't know whose work is this. And when you put a footer, it is easy for me to know this one is this one's work and so on. And no one is going to penalize you for putting a footer when they've not asked for it. And if they ask for it, well and good, you get a mark for putting. If they've not asked for it, you are only safe. I'm looking at a school like Mbalisis. Last year, these children were waiting for their results. We had in senior 6, we had students who were doing ICT. We had 960 students who were doing ICT paper 2 and 3. So look at such a big class, about 900 students. And in the computer lab, we have only one printer, or if that day is good, we have 2 printers. Now, when we are printing, not everyone goes to print. We connect this one printer on a network. So for you, you print, you're seated on computer number 70, you print. Another one on computer 5 has also printed. So those papers meet themselves at the printer's point where you're going to pick. So when you move from in front, I mean from behind to go and pick your work, what unique feature have you put on your question paper, on your printout that will uniquely identify your work from the rest? So that's why I want to encourage a footer, always put it, whether they've requested for it or not. Put a footer, put a header. And for Microsoft Word, question related to Microsoft Word, even if they asked for page numbers or not, put them. Those are some things that show that you're very organized, and they don't deny you any mark for putting something they did not want. They will simply ignore it. So if you're seated in such a computer lab where and you people printing is compulsory, and you print yourself as a student, no one will help you to print. So don't reach there and start to panic. Learn how to print. So I want to discourage people who are going to print Excel that is looking like this. Come here and put borders. That's why I added borders in one of the basic things I feel you should know. Come here and highlight your work like this and put a border. And we always put all borders around it. Well, you may be lucky and they give you marks for putting borders, or they may not necessarily give you a mark for you put. And borders are found just below this font style box here. Just below here, you'll find borders there. Unfortunately, on the computer, they don't write on it that borders are, you won't find it like in Microsoft Word where you'll find page borders and so on. So come here, you'll find borders here, and click on this downward arrow, specifically this arrow, such that it gives you many options. Now, what I'm interested in is what we call the all borders. And you see, I have put all borders, and indeed, when I press Ctrl+P, as if I'm printing my work, it will appear like this. This is very good work, whether they've asked for the borders or not. Now, these borders come in styles. They come in different types. They may ask you to put, now this is for marks, they may ask you to put a thick box border. This is how it looks like. I've put a thick box border, and when I'm printing, there'll be, sorry, I had put both of them. So I'm removing all borders first of all, such that I'm removing all borders, so I'll put no border, such that it takes me back to the previous work I had. So I'm going to put a thick border around my work. They will ask you to put a thick border around your work. And this is how a thick border looks like when you're printing. See, there is a thick border around your work like that. So it is important for you to know how to put that border. And I have told you always put a border whether they wanted it or not. So what I'm going to do is that. So I'll put all border like that. If there is any question, you ask. If not, we proceed. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is to help you know how to sort information. For example, when you look at this, let me just remove this from down here. I'm deleting this. So if this information wants to be sorted, for example, you want to know who was the best in English, who was the best in mathematics. So you're supposed to sort this information. And this is how we sort. Click anywhere in this text you have, anywhere. You can click here or here. Come to sort and filter. It is always at the extreme end this side. It is under home. Don't go to insert, you won't find it. Come under home, look for the sort and filter. Click there. And I want to discourage any other sort options, but encourage only one. And the one that I'm encouraging is click on custom sort. I said, click anywhere in this text, come to home, go to sort and filter, and come to custom sort. I repeat, discouraging these two and come to this. So when you come to this, start by telling the computer that my information has headers. You can refuse, you can tell it has. And when you click here, they're going to ask you, you're sorting by which column? So you click here and say, I'm sorting with English marks. So they want you, do you want it from smallest to the biggest or from the biggest to the smallest? I want it from the biggest to the smallest. I want to shame students in class, for example, but what would I gain from that? You want maybe to display students in class who have performed well and those ones who have performed fairly and those who have performed worst. So I sort from largest to the smallest like that. In English, and you'll see that everything is going to change. And Peter goes up with 98. And Peter was not even the best in science. Remember in science, someone got even 100. But now Peter has gone up because I sorted using English. So always learn how to sort. I want to sort using maybe total. I want to sort using total. Now this is too sensitive because it's going to identify who is the best in class. So I want to sort using total, and indeed total will tell me that the same Peter is the best. Now I don't want him to be the best, so I'll reduce his marks from 78 to maybe 32. Let me put this to 32. Watch where Peter is going to go. And I wanted him to drop, but I think I will have to sort again. Let me put Peter in red such that you're able to follow where he's going. I'm sorting again with the total. Yes, total from the largest. Peter will shift from the first position up here and he will move up to the 7th position here, like that. So learning how to sort is very, very, very good. If you can learn that, it will be so good for you. And I may want to sort using the names such that I am able to know from A to Z. So I'll put from A to Z here, and it will sort for me. Auma becomes the first person, Scovia, Joseph, Katongolo, and so on, like that. You see that they're appearing up there. And so many other things you can do with the sort feature. So sort, I felt you need to know that as well. We've talked about merging, we've talked about sorting, we've talked about borders. There is this something that is very obvious. There is shading and changing of font color. I am going to shade, and I'm also going to change. Can you sort using, so can you repeat that border? I wasn't able to see. Can you sort using WPS? You people keep trying out. I may not keep trying out because of time. May have taught you sort exists. So find the time and try out, but let me see if it has sorting. Let's see. Okay. I don't seem to see it. Let me see. Yeah, I think sorting is there. Sorting is there, but here it is done in a different way. Let me just demonstrate that. Many students don't know how to use WPS, so I will still want to show that because you're at home, you have your phones, you need to see how to do that. Unfortunately, I'm also not very comfortable with WPS because I use the laptop most of the time. But if people have time, read and see. I'm failing to understand today this laptop of mine is not allowing me to see my shared screen. I'm assuming you're able to see my phone. Are you able to see
Yes,
my
sir.
screen? Okay.
We are seeing.
Yes, sir.
So open WPS normally. And this is what I feel you should know, which you may have not known. You see in WPS, it has this button here. This button is very powerful. This button here, it's like the office button of Microsoft Word. So I am going to click there. If I want to sort, maybe let me put 25 here, maybe 65. You highlight the marks you want to sort like that. You highlight the work you want, then you come on this main menu. This main menu has so many features, including home. You people, home is here. You may want to put it to the center, you want to put it to the left. You people, home is there, and you can even change the font color, put it back to. There are so many, even putting borders. I even didn't know borders are here. You see, people, borders are hiding here. You might put all borders, thick border is there. I want to put all. Thick border is there. See, thick border is here. The one I talked about. It makes your work look like that. So don't be there and say, now, oh, you have asked putting a thick border, but my phone can't allow. So borders are there. I want to put everything to the center, to the left. There is so many things here, including adding decimals for those students who wanted to put two decimal places. For example, this is 2.25. Maybe this can be 6.55 and so on. You can also do the same and come to home and increase the decimal. See, I've reduced. You increase from here, you reduce from here, like that. I've reduced. But the question was, can you sort? So go past view, go past insert, go past that. Sort in ascending order or descending order. So I'm starting with ascending order from the smallest to the biggest, or from the biggest to the smallest, like that. But this particular one of customize, I think it doesn't exist on these phones, but a phone is a bit limited, but when you go back to your schools, kindly know what to do. So, I don't know if there is, I would prefer a person to ask the question directly than writing in the chat here. I might not be able to read. For anyone, if you see a question in the chat that should be given attention, kindly share it with me. So I'll share my screen again, and specifically, I'm going to talk, I've finished to talk about sorting. I want to talk about shading. Shading versus this. Okay, shading versus text color. I'm shading 55 here. Shading is here. It is called fill color. I have shaded here with black. Okay, let me shade it with red. I have shaded that 59, 56 with red. But this 45, I have changed its color to red. I don't know if you can see the difference. This one, I've filled the text. I've filled the cell with red, but the text is still black. But this one, I have changed the font color. Students miss so many marks there. They don't know those two. They cannot distinguish the two. Which one is to fill and which one is to change the font color. Those two disturb students out of experience. Majority of them fail. So they will give you a task like this. Put a heading up here and fill it with red. So I'll merge and write Mbale, City Primary School. If they tell me to change this to red, so I would have changed this Mbale City to a red color. But if they want me to fill the heading with red, I use this other one with red like that. Those two are different, so know when to use them. I've talked about shading, and now I want to dedicate the remaining time to using of functions. And if we finish talking about functions, and if time allows, we are going to talk about the if statement. If statement is going to be very powerful. If time doesn't allow, I'm going to push it to the next lesson. And maybe before we get there, you know, this even when it is an A-level class, but people get tired. I'm going to request that you relax a little bit because I want to introduce functions. So I don't know how best you relax yourself. And I'm going to use this information of this boy's work and pasting it here. Okay, I'll assume you're able to see that. I want to talk about functions, but before I introduce functions, I want to show you where these functions hide. And maybe they hide somewhere here. But before I talk about these functions, we need to relax a little bit. And I'm going to request people to ask a few questions about what I've been talking about as we buy some 2 minutes or 3 to talk about the other one. Put up the hand, or even testing your microphone is good enough. You can put up the hand and just tell us your name.
So I'm asking about the bonus.
The border.
Bonus. How you
Oh,
do the bonus?
Okay, the bonus, I said you just add. You just add. This is the bonus. For example, if I put bonus here, and you just say is equals, they want you to add to science. Okay, maybe they want you to add to mathematics. So you say everyone who has got mathematics, and mathematics is in C3. So you start by writing the cell C3. On it, you add the value that you want. I'm adding 15. Or let me add 5 marks to every student in mathematics. So is there any question, Gloria? Do you know how to do that?
I've understood, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just put it and it will add. Yeah. Any other person? Any other person here with any question? Even testing your microphone is good enough. Just saying to us, you may not have a question, you may just want to supplement, at least for at least 1 or 2 minutes here before we can proceed. Liz. Liz, proceed.
Excuse me, sir. Please pardon me the changing of color and feeling of color.
Changing of color and feeling. Okay. Changing of color and feeling of color. I said the two are different. This one, the red you're seeing, that is thick. That one, we have filled it with red. But the red you're seeing here and this, we have changed the font color. So how do you feel? How do you change the color? So I'm going to fill here. Click on where you want to fill and come to the fill color here. And this time around, I'm using green. So we have filled this 41.75 with green. And I'm going to come to this 242, and I'm going to change its font.
Excuse me, members. The teacher has unfortunately gone off. I think we can wait a bit.
Yeah, I think wait.
Get your balloon going. Macho mmete muli muliro. Good afternoon, members. Anyone free to repeat for me short? I beg.
Let me help you a bit. The teacher said when we are sorting, the best option we should use customize. We leave the other two and we use customize as it is the best. You go and select the item you want to sort because the menu will be displayed. You put the item, then you go and see the values. Is it from the biggest to the smallest or smallest to the biggest? That's all. You click OK.
Yeah, sorry, I had to go off a little. And I left when I was talking to Liz. I don't know if you saw what you wanted or I have to repeat for you.
Thank you, teacher. I saw it.
Okay. Diana, as if your microphone was open as well. Did you want to ask something?
Recording in progress.
Diana?
Good afternoon. I was talking about sort.
Sort, yes. What did you want with sort?
I did get it.
Okay. Gondi, Wycliffe, please bring back those rights to me. I see if I can. Sorting, I'm going to try this out on my laptop here, but let me share my screen such that you can be able to see.
So now you are now the host.
I've seen, thank you. Okay, so this girl wants to see sorting.
Oh, we are not seeing your screen.
I know very well. I know. Okay, this girl wanted, please put down your hand. I don't know whether you forgot it there. Okay, so sorting, I said, now the sorting I wanted you to learn is when you don't have this heading. So and we are going to learn how to sort. I'm going to sort starting with the names. If I want to sort using alphabetical order, I want to start from Z to A or from A to Z. Come here, sort and filter. Come to custom, like that. It will bring for you a dialog box like this. Click on this and look for which column do you want to sort by. Maybe I want to start with average, but I want to see the smallest average to the largest. So you see, smallest average was 30.75 to the largest, like that. But here, you see that the names are not looking good. There is N here, there is O, it's confusing. You may want to sort using alphabetical order. So I want to sort using the name instead. Take note of what is going to appear. What is here is average. And here they are going to say smallest to the largest. But once they realize that the values the other side are not numbers, they will say from Z to A. Watch what will happen here. When I put name here, it changes the order from A to Z. When I put science, for example, it says from smallest. So it would have detected that those are numbers. So name is here. From A to Z, we had tried from Z to A, maybe, such that the last person comes and the A, Auma Justin now goes down. That. So sorting is fun. Keep trying. Like for us teachers, we really love to work with sorting so much because it helps you to analyze your class. If I have time, I'll open my class marks here and you get to see how we play around with sorting. You can pick students and say, sort for me only girls. So you go under gender and sort only girls, pick only girls and know which girl is performing well and which one is not performing well. You note them down. Then pick out only boys. Who is performing well, who is not performing well. But when you look at it, when it is congested like this, you can't even make sense out of it. Pick only ICT paper 1 marks. Then you pick out who is struggling, who is not struggling. How about in practical? Then you relate and see what is the relationship between those who are passing practicals and theory. Maybe those who are passing practicals don't pass theory and you help them. And if you don't know how to sort, it becomes very hard when you're teaching. You can't learn to help your students at all. Not only teachers, it could be in whichever field. You could be a businessman. Keep writing your sales down. On a Monday, you got this money. On a Tuesday, you got this. Then you sort which day brings a lot of money. Then you know that on a Tuesday, people come and buy their things. Maybe you can deploy more. You can deploy more. Is this you trying to access? Okay, there is some message that has come here. was disturbing me. I was saying it could be sales. Then when you realize that Tuesday you sell more using that tool of sort, maybe you can increase the number of, if it's a supermarket, you can increase on the number of those supermarket attendants. You can increase on the working time such that maybe you work up too late, like that. It will help you. In whichever field, Excel is very powerful. So I've talked about sort, and I believe that should be the last question I should talk about. I want to go straight to functions. And maybe just to sample, I don't need to sample, let's just proceed. Now, we are going to talk about the most important item in Microsoft Excel. It's called functions. These functions are very powerful, and no one is going to stop you from using a function. For example, if I want to get the total, like this, total, from first principles, if I'm getting it from the scratch, I know that I am supposed to add this, which is B2, plus that, plus this, plus that, to give me my answer as 173. So the formula is very long. Let me even post this in the chat here. This formula is longer. This is a longer formula. And this one helps students to appreciate how Microsoft Excel works. And if they give you a chance to ever teach anyone Microsoft Excel, never teach them functions first. Show them how Microsoft Word works. It adds cell to cell, and it gives you the answer. And you can always autofill up here. It can give you an answer. But that is a very longer option. There are what we call functions. I'm calling this total 2, such that it is the same total, but in a shorter version. So these functions are always here. Under AutoSum, you'll find something like a summation symbol in mathematics. For those who do math, you know this summation symbol. You'll find it under that summation symbol. Click on this downward arrow, and you'll see these functions are here, and there are so many. There are so many you can not even count and finish them. And these ones I have opened are the commonly used by me, the ones I use most of the time. Most of the time I'm working with count, I'm working with sum, maximum, and something like that. But there are so many functions. You come here and tell them, I want all of them. They will bring for you so many of them. Do you know you can get the aka sign? This is the aka sign, or the aka turn in mathematics. This one is in A level, in the senior 6 most of the time. If you're integrating and so on, don't even remember that. But when you reach the university, you will find something like this. Aka sign again 2 times. We don't need to get there mathematically. But you can get the average. You can get, let me see if there is standard deviation. Standard deviation. There are so many standard. Yes, standard deviation must be one of these. One of that. There are so many, including maximum, minimum. There is mode. Remember mode of, I can't see mode here. I think this must be mode. Mode is here. There is median. I think if you want median, you can always get median. Let me check up here. Yeah, there is median here. All these are very powerful functions. You don't need to do this using your calculator. A mathematics student, you're looking for the median using a calculator? No. Give it information, let the computer do it for you. There is a lot. There is minimum, there is maximum. Most of these are used by programmers, for you may not have seen them. So for us, we look at only the mostly used. Or you can specify and say, I want to deal with the ones for engineering. And engineering, you want to program a spaceship, you want to program anything that is serious for engineering, their functions are always there. But for us, we teach students how to use a function, much as we don't teach using of all of them, but we teach you how to use a function. And the simplest function is the one for total. You just write is equals sum. Come here and look for sum. Now, sum, surprisingly, it's among the first here. You write, you click on it and press OK. It will bring sum, and it will ask you, you're summing up from where to where. So edit this. Yes, it is from B2. B2 is the one that had, it is a bit intelligent to try to attempt to see. It is the one that has, B2 is the one that has 62. And we are summing from 62 up to 52. And when you press OK, it will get for us that total. And it has added this, unfortunately. I forgot, and it added F2. It's supposed to add, it is supposed to only end on SST. SST is what? This is ABC. It's supposed to end on E2, like that, and you will see that the total is the same, autofill. So will you keep going the other side to pick total, to pick sum and so on? No. You need to understand that a function called the sum exists. So you write sum and open bracket and say, I'm adding from here up to here. You just highlight like that. Now on the phone, you may not know how to, you may not manage to highlight. You just write one at a time. This one means, let me open Microsoft Word here for us to see this function. I want to show you how a function works. Function works this way. Let me increase the size of my data. If I'm adding from, the first one was B2 plus C2 plus D2 plus E2, like that. The function says, for how long will you keep writing these in between values? What if there were 20 of them? Will you write all of them? So it says, can you concentrate on only the beginning and the last one, the beginning cell and the last cell? Delete the rest and say, I am adding from this up to the last cell. That's why we delete that and replace it with those semicolons from B2 to E2. And instead of the addition signs and so on, replace them with a function sum to that. So it will add for you from that to that. The same applies to if you want to get the average. Average, we still do the same, average. Instead of struggling and do the previous way, do the same, average B2 to E2, like that. We're going to try out average. So this one is done. I'm going to try out average. Average, you remember the previous way from first principles, we said you get this plus this plus that plus this and close this bracket and also divide this by 4. That is the average from the first principle. Okay, this is the average, the longest way. I'm going to paste this in Microsoft Word here and you see. This is the longest way. of getting the average, even mathematically. This average means in mathematics, average is the one we refer to as the mean mark. So add this plus that. Whereas the function tells that, you know what? Remove all your things. Concentrate on only the beginning and the end here, like this. Concentrate on those two. And replace the additions and whatever it's subtraction or what, replace this with the range. Like that. Then add the word average on it. So you write average, whether it is in capital or small letters, then you put B2. 2, these semicolons means you're adding up to E2, like that, and press enter. It will always work. These formulas are very, very good. Let me leave them in the chat just in case you've never interacted with them. You wouldn't wish to miss them out. So I will get back to my Excel, and this is the first longest way of getting the average. Then the easiest way is, of course, by writing a function, and the function is average up to here, like that. We use the function, and that is it. You would have got the average already. Of course, there are several functions, but now for us, NCDC tells us that, you know what, for A-level children, don't teach them so many functions. Teach them some, teach them average. The other function they always teach so much is called the maximum and minimum. Maximum and minimum. Sometimes it is called the maximum mark, or they can say the highest mark. Highest. And then, or they may say the minimum, minimum, or sometimes it's called the lowest mark, like that. So this minimum and maximum, it identifies which mark is the highest here and which one is the lowest mark, and it will give you the answers. Or you can do it manually by looking through and get the answer. So why would you use the longer way? Here we use just the shortcut or the function, which is max, and that is the function that gives the maximum number. Even on your phone, it can still work. And this range is now from B2 to B17. Like that. I don't know if you've seen. It will pick for me the mark for this boy as the highest for Peter. So you autofill up to here. It will pick the highest mark in every cell. Then here, the minimum, the formula is mean, the function, sorry, from B2 still to B17. That. When you press enter, it will pick for you the minimum mark, and it will give. So, ED teachers need this information when they are doing their meetings. If you happen to be a teacher, or if you happen to be a teacher, okay, I'm going to repeat. If you happen to be the head teacher, or you happen to be a teacher, or you happen to be any big person who is supervising others. For example, if I want to know which subject is not doing well, I'll just know using that. I don't have to read through everything here. I just put the maximum and highest. So you realize that English is not doing well. How comes English had the lowest mark when you compare all other subjects? You realize that English, maybe the teacher is not concentrating on children or concentrates on only a few. See, a child is having 12, Fiona. So As the supervisor, you come back and look for that particular teacher of English and tell them you're leaving Fiona out and Fiona is going to fail or something like that. But if you're not informed, then how will you even know? Did you even know that Fiona was not performing well until you perform that? And when you look at, there are some subjects where children are so good, you realize that SST, one child got 100%. As a supervisor, you should question that 100%. How comes the child gets 100%? The question paper maybe had a problem. So before you get to the teacher, pick that question paper, look for that 100 was in science. Okay. As the head teacher, struggle and make sure you get that question paper from whoever set it. You can call students to give you that question paper. Look through the paper. It could be substandard. If you don't understand, maybe a teacher, you had a teacher who did mathematics, but now this is maybe history and they are getting 100. Call a person who knows history and assess, was this the rightful paper? You may realize that the teacher is cheating for children, or the paper is hard, but he didn't mark, or something like that. So all these functions will help you as an administrator to supervise your people you're working with, something like that. And how do you arrive there? You use the formulas. There is maximum and minimum. Those two are very powerful. I'm looking at the maximum, so I'll write max like that, M-A-X. In bracket, you put this range. You can, hope you remember how to write the range, B2 to B17. It is going to run through all these values and return the biggest mark. Biggest mark is here. Autofill up to here. Then for the minimum, you write mean. Then from B2 to B17, also close. So autofill, and hope you know that autofilling can be even in a horizontal manner. Don't think autofilling will always just drop down like that. No, it can be in a horizontal manner as well. So someone who wanted me to repeat, I think I've repeated that. If anyone still has a question on maximum and maximum, please ask. Any question?
What if we are told to assess the minimum and maximum for the whole subject?
Of course, we've done for the whole.
How are you supposed to present them?
How do you want to no, it has done for all subjects, the 4 subjects. I don't know which one is your question then. Maybe I've not got it well.
No, yeah, that's what I wanted.
The one I have done here, I think you had not just understood you had not interpreted the values, but it's doing for all subjects.
Thank you.
Okay, so that one is another function they tell us to teach students, maximum and minimum. Then the last function is called position. You people, position is the most important, and I wanted the whole lesson to concentrate on position. And I'm happy our time is almost up. And you people, the fact that you're still here, then we can concentrate on it. Then if statement can be pushed to the next lesson. Position is very, very powerful. If you can learn how to do position, you'll be so good. If I had time, I would show you how to create a report card. Do you know that the senior 2, senior 3 students of the new curriculum are doing more abstract things than the A-level school? Of course, you may not know. Of course, some of you know, because you have your maybe sisters or your brothers in those other classes. They are doing a lot of ICT than the A-level school. And you people, where you can beat them from is because you people understand mathematics. You understand these concepts. For them, they do them. Maybe some of them are crammed. But you people can beat them. They do a lot. Whoever is thinking I'm deceiving, I want to stand by my word, because me, I teach both levels. These kids do a lot, and they even develop websites. But they are so young. So if you want to challenge them, just understand Excel. For them, they don't know Excel. Because of the nature of the brains they have, you cannot teach them complex functions and so on. But for you people, you still have that chance to learn, only that it is out of your syllabus. So put your energy in Excel and challenge them using Excel. If they are bragging with how to design a website, tell them, can you get for me the median marker? Or do you know how to return the maximum value in a subject? So as you're arguing, they are still starting to know, oh, or maybe A level is hard, or maybe they do harder things that side. Otherwise, in actual sense, A level ICT is just a subset of O level. They do a little more, only that they don't understand most of the concepts. You can still challenge them. So one of the things they are doing in O level is that they develop a report card, an electronic report card for a whole school. And students who are doing ICT in O level are a bit different from the normal students we've been teaching ICT in the old curriculum. One, they ask them to do a project. I was supervising one of the students here at Mbaleses, and this child was revising the school report card. The school has a report card, but the child was revising it. Where are the mistakes in the school report card? And she goes to the field to collect that information, compares with the report card, picks the report card from other schools and revise it. And the thing is so tasking. And this particular student I'm talking about was using Excel and then use it to mail merge it in Microsoft Word. Of course, maybe in the next lesson, I'll try to demonstrate that, but to you, it doesn't help you. But like I told you, to win any argument with an O-level person doing ICT, tell them about Excel. And if you get a chance to understand the database, they don't know database. Tell them about Excel, tell them about database. Let them not be arguing and you say, you people, me, I can bold. I know how to bold and underline. If I can change the background color of the page and put a watermark, they will all of them laugh at you because you are talking about Microsoft Word and that is their area. So give it a lot of time, Excel and understand it, you'll challenge them. And you'll still remain relevant in ICT. Otherwise, if they get to know that there is nothing new you know, they may even doubt if you can underline a text in Microsoft Word. So I want to encourage you, give it time. And one of the things that makes you so special in Microsoft Excel is using of functions and being comfortable with them. I've talked about sum, I've talked about average, I've talked about the maximum and minimum, and I'm going to end with the position. These ones confuse those children a lot. For you just to understand these functions and they will know that you know a lot of computer. And of course, A level, of course, has so many other things to concentrate on. You have the whole chemistry, you have the whole history. So maybe it is okay to have smaller dose of ICT. But in the new curriculum, for those who are planning to repeat senior 5, I pray no one repeats anyway. But if you're planning to repeat, you'll find a new curriculum there, and ICT is going to be one of the principles. So it's going to be very complicated. You might not now understand what they're talking about there. And they will be doing only 2 principal subjects, of course. So you can imagine how heavy a principle will be. In mathematics, if you're choosing to do math in the new curriculum, they are even doing programming in mathematics when you're dealing with linear programming, for example. They are doing real computer programming, how to program those variables X and Y. So don't plan to get back to senior 5 if the new curriculum comes there anyway, but you can still handle. So I want to talk about position, and it will be our very last. Position, sometimes they may tell you, they may call it rank, or they may call it any name that shows that it is putting people in their categories. So how do you get position? It is a function, and this is how we write it. The function for position is called rank. It is R-A-N-K. Not sum, not average, not what. It is called R-A-N-K, rank. So when we are dealing with these formulas or with these functions, they will always guide you down here. After writing rank, open bracket, they're asking you which number are you ranking? Me, I want to rank my students using the total, not average. So I'll repeat that. Let me delete these three columns. I'm deleting these two columns such that I have total and I have average. So I'm going to put my students in position using total, not average. So this is what I will do. I'll tell it rank all my students, and they will ask you, are you using total, or you're using average, or you're using SST, or what? I'll tell them I'm using total, and total is in F2. Then they are telling you to put a comma. You see there is a comma there. So I'll put a comma, and they will tell me to put the reference. The reference is bring all the students' marks and fit them there. So all students' marks move from F2 to F what? F17, like that. I am putting every student's total there. And they will always tell us to fix it, put it under a fix such that they don't change. And how do you fix? You press F4 on the keyboard. I will explain fixing later on, but for now, know that they press F4 on the keyboard. Then you put a comma and put the order. Are you putting in ascending order or descending order? Now, descending order means from the highest to the smallest. Ascending order means there is from smallest to the highest. So you put 0 because me, I'm using descending order. Then you close. Press enter and it will tell you Auma Justin matches. She's having letter A in her name and she's appearing number 1 on the list. In actual sense, she's in position number 13 in the whole class. And position number 13 means she's not doing so well because we have only 16 students. Then you autofill like this. And you realize that the best is Katongole Alex with, and this one as a head teacher also of a school, it helps you so much. You use this to know which students are performing better than the other, overall performance. Maybe you want to give bursary and so on. So I have given you that formula and I'm going to paste it in the chat just for formality, but of course pasting it in the chat doesn't make any other sense. So I'll put it in the chat, but I'm also going to explain this formula in Microsoft Word here. You people, this is the formula. Is equals rank. In open bracket, put F2. Put a comma. Put the values from F2 to what? F17. Put a comma and put a 0 to say that you are putting in descending order. A person with the highest total becomes number 1. Now, this one can't work, not until you fix it. And what do we call fixing? Fixing means putting of a $sign on these alphabetical letters. Here, there are two things. There is F and there is 2. So F is alphabetical and this is a numerical value. So put F in $2 signs. $2 sign. That is the first $sign. This is the second $sign. You have fixed that. Then also fix this one as well. This into $sign and put this into $sign like that. And that is the formula I have just pasted in the chat. This $sign, let them be read for you to see. What do the $signs do? They change the values such that they don't change. They fix the values such that they don't change. And how do you put them? You highlight this and press F4 on the keyboard. Or if you can understand how they put it, you can put them manually. And it is exactly what I'm going to do this time round. I'm going to put it manually. So that is the formula. I'll go back to my document and rank it manually. So I'm going to rank it manually. Let me call it position. Position 2, demonstrating this again, is equals rank, open bracket, F2, comma, the total, which is all of them, F2 to F17, comma, 0, like that, then close bracket. But don't press enter before you put those dollar signs. Just lock F here as well. So I'll put a dollar sign here. Let me copy this formula first before I do that. So I'll put a dollar sign here. Dollar sign is on that keyboard, don't put the dollar sign on 2. You might not be knowing what you're doing. The dollar sign is put on only the letters of the alphabet. Then you press enter, it will give you the same formula. Alternatively, if it is position, if it's taking your time, just highlight this and press F4 on the keyboard and it will fix for you. Still gives you the same answer. If there is any question, ask, or if there is no question, our time is up. I want to just prepare the exercise, leave it for you. Any question? Any additions?
Sir, I have a question. I failed
Yes.
to download the sheets.
It's not important.
Okay.
And I don't know why you're failing to download. You don't have space or the data is small? Why are you failing to download?
I have data. I don't know, but I have the data.
And that is which phone? Maybe the phone version?
Samsung Galaxy S13.
That one is, it's supposed to download. Unfortunately, our time is up. And that Google Sheet can only help you in class when we are demonstrating, but you can use WPS. You have WPS?
No.
Anyway, we are out of time. Let me leave my number in the chat and inbox me and we see if we can follow it up, but you should know how to take screenshots. Take screenshots of where you're stopping, where you're getting stuck, and I see if I can manage help you out. But also those who are not on the WhatsApp group, you're missing out a lot. Make sure you joined one of the WhatsApp groups such that you don't miss out a lot. And if we have any other question, let me know. If there is no any other question, I want us to end this lesson here. I think we don't have.
Thanks for the lesson, sir. All
right. Can we get a closing prayer away from and we get out of here? Who's speaking this blessing? Pray for us and we leave the lesson and go. People here don't want to pray, or is me who was not seeing the answer?
So let me pray.
Okay.
Let's humble ourselves and we pray in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Almighty Father, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for this wonderful lesson you have conducted. We pray that you lead and guide us in every path we are taking. And please bless us with your knowledge and success in whatever we are doing. And also bless our teacher, whatever he is putting in, so that we learn. I pray this through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
Gloria, let's have a good
Amen.